Game design, like any other creative endeavor, is an iterative process, and this game has undergone hundreds of iterations. Some, the differences were pretty drastic, and others, the differences were kind of small tweaks. So I thought it'd be fun to take you behind the scenes and look at a brief history of the game sheet design and how the game has evolved from the beginning to what you see right now. So this is the first game sheet that I have record of. Of course, there were others before, just kind of hand drawings in the back of a piece of paper. But you can see that the major factors of the game were present from the beginning. I wanted to have some characters probably matched up with die values where people could scratch those off as they match them up with some kind of storyline. I had thought about settings before also. Initially, I had thought about doing this in 3 acts where different things would happen in Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, and there would be different things that could be activated, activities or achievements or something like that. One of the things that changed a lot from version to version was the size of the tree and how many boxes were in the tree. This was a difficult thing to balance as I play tested this with myself and others. I didn't want to make it too easy to fill in the tree throughout the game, but I also didn't want to make it so difficult where there was a huge point penalty at the end of the game because you left so many boxes blank on the tree. So I had to balance the size of the tree with the number of rounds and the options that you had with filling in those boxes. So at this point, I decided to add character-specific abilities that players could use throughout the game. One of the things I really like when I'm playing a game with dice or cards or something with kind of a high random element is to have something that's within my control where I can mitigate that luck. As the design developed, I started thinking of ways that I could put the storylines together, little boxes here and there where people could fill in character numbers. I had fleshed out this entire storyline from beginning to end, but thought it would be better in the end to let players be a little bit more in control of the storyline. And that's why I decided to have some storylines on top and some on bottom where they could connect together and you could kind of make your own storyline. You can also see the graphic design changes just in terms of the layout, the overall aesthetic feel, the thematic feel of the game. I always have a lot of fun with being efficient with my space on the page, but also making things feel fun and thematic and kind of immersing players in the overall vibe of the game. So there was a big jump between this version and the last version, just in terms of graphic design. I decided to make the characters a little bit more dynamic. So I found some of these really awesome assets on Free Pick that I could use. Some artists had a whole series of these characters doing different things and they're all in the same style. So I decided to use those characters as my characters in this game. And I think that gave it a little bit more of that made-for-TV Christmas vibe. And I changed the color scheme a little bit, changed the look of the tree, added some depth to the trees, added some texture to the page. It was little touches like that, I think, that brought this design home. So that brings us to the present moment, and what you'll have in front of you is the final iteration of the game. I hope you enjoy playing it, and I hope it helps you to find that Christmas cheer anytime you're playing it all throughout the year.